Morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastors Podcast. It is good to have you with me on this Friday morning. Hey, how about this? The last Friday before Christmas. Have you thought about that? And I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. And boy, I had a phenomenal day on yesterday. I was able to go out soul winning both in the morning and, of course, in the evening, as I always do. So I think I saw three saved yesterday morning, or two saved yesterday morning. Then I went back out again last night and ran into three teenagers. Of course, I posted it on Facebook, was able to lead three teenagers, two brothers and a sister. And I wish you could have been there. One of my men, Brother Shank Sauger, who we always go out on Thursday afternoons, he would tell you, it was just these young people, they came, the one girl, she shut off her phone because she wanted to hear it. A lady walked into the door. They moved out of her way, kept on listening to us. Both brothers were like glued into me, just trying to listen for the gospel. And let me tell you something. That is truly what we've got to get back to doing, getting the gospel out. We have got to become aggressive soul winning churches. I was telling my wife just a few minutes ago, I read something this morning on X about here in the state of Oklahoma, a red state, a conservative state, that the planning commission in Broken Arrow, despite the opposing crowd of hundreds of people who showed up, allowing rezoning so the Muslims can build a huge acre temple or whatever they want to call it, mosque in their area. And I get so concerned with our country. I think that too many believers are just playing around, to be quite honest with you. Our churches have gotten off focus. Believers are playing. The world's more important to them or not. And I'll be honest with you, to some degree, I'm not as worried about myself. I'm 57 years of age. I'm, next year I turn 58, pushing the 60 mark. Just about all of my siblings are, all but one are over 60. And, but I'm worried about my daughter, my son-in-law, and their children, and then my staff. I think of Mark Trimble and Dan Dion. Of course, he's closer to my age. And then just all of these on my staff, I get concerned for them. And somewhere we have got to become a people that just realize this is not a game that we're playing. Politics is not the answer. It is our churches have got to do something. And as I sit here and talk to you this morning, just a little bit with a heavy heart, I am concerned for our nation. We have stopped 20 years ago. I want to mention a name I don't normally mention. Jack Schaap made a stupid statement when he said, I was there when he said it, he goes, we don't need more churches in America. We need to send everything overseas. That was the dumbest statement in all the world. Because for the last 20 years, America has stopped. And we think it's spiritual just to send everything abroad while we're not doing anything in our own country. And I'm saying right now, somewhere, we better get some people who are serious about this. And we have got to get back to starting churches. In the 70s, the largest church in every state was independent, were Baptist churches. I'll put it that way, Baptist churches. Now our Baptist churches are dying. My church, that I would not consider a large church, is now in the top, I think, 6% in attendance in churches in America anymore. I just can't even fathom that. I'm considered a large church now. When I was a boy, this would be just an average church. And somewhere we have got to get back to understanding this whole thing. I don't hate the Muslim people at all. I want them to get saved, but I know their movement. And I know what they're trying to do. And and George W. Bush was the one who really opened the door when he said, well, they're just not all bad. Let me tell you something. Look at what's going on in our country, and somewhere we better wake up and get some things started and do something great in our nation. Because if we don't, we're going to lose this thing. And I would encourage you this morning just to kind of consider what I'm saying even right now, because it is needed in our country. If we don't get something going, we're in trouble in this old nation. And I would encourage you to think about what I've said. Now, let me talk to you, if I can, just from 2 Chronicles 15:16. It says, and also concerning Maacah, the mother of Asa, the king, he removed her from being queen because she had made an idol in a grove, and Asa cut down her idol and stamped it and burnt it at the brook Kidron. Asa was one of the great kings in Judah for many reasons, but maybe the greatest reason is because he was willing to stand against family for right. Now, it's just not family he stood against, but he stood against his own mother. His mama made idols. And when he removed her from being the queen of the land is when we found listen, this was unheard of. So your willingness to stand against family for right is the test of your love for truth. We live in times when many preachers have compromised what they once stood for because their children stopped doing right. And so in the desire to try to draw their children back and to keep a good relationship with them, they've changed their stances on what they once used to believe and their methods of what they're doing just to try to draw them back. And yet they don't draw them back. Jesus taught in Luke 14:26, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Jesus was not teaching that we should hate our family. But if we have to choose between following Christ or family, we've got to forsake our family for Jesus Christ. Yes, our families, we ought to love them. And yes, we ought to do everything we can to get along with them, but not for the sake of truth, my friend. This won't be easy to do. You see, this is the command of scriptures. Let me just give you a couple observations. First, your love for God is revealed by your choice between family or Christ. There's going to come a time in your life when you have to choose between your family and God. And what you do at that moment is going to determine what you really believe in. I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's difficult to make that choice. But can I tell you, at the end of the day, it was Christ who died for your sins, who saved you from hell. And you ought to love God more than them. And I'm just telling you right now, if you truly love your family, you'll choose God first. Because if family is above God, you're still going to destroy your family. Second, if you make Christ, who is truth, your choice before you make, if you make Christ your choice before you have to make the choice, then there's no choice that you have to make once you have to make that decision. That's the problem with a lot of people. They don't make the choice before they have to, because once you make the choice before you have to, I want you to get this now, then you don't revisit it again. Don't matter who it is, whether it's family, a friend, a pastor, a college, an alma mater, whatever. We always choose Christ. The principle is don't revisit the decision that we made by faith, because that will always cause us to make a wrong decision. Third, if you can't choose to do right when you don't have to take a stand, you certainly won't do right when you have to face family. Now, the prodigal son's father had to make this choice twice. He never moved from his position of doing right, and it was not easy for this man had to make this decision, both with his backslidden son that went away and the backslidden son who was at home. None of us know if we will ever have to make this decision. But you better make it now. You make the decision to do right now. And my friend, I'm telling you, once we make that decision, that's when it becomes, we then don't revisit it. You stick with it. You do what's right. I ask you, is it in you? Is it in you to make this decision for Christ? Is it in you to say, I want to choose Christ above anyone else? Even if I have to stand against my own children, I want to do what's right. This is what's going to save this whole nation. Christ has to be preeminent in our life. What I started talking about in this podcast about the need for our churches, it truly comes down to we've got to choose Christ over everything else. If we don't, my friend, I'm going to tell you right now, we'll lose this old nation. We've got to make Christ that preeminent choice in our life. Go ahead, backslidden Christian, live in the world. And I want to tell you right now, you live in the world and you can. I was talking to someone yesterday, and I guess the thing that just bothers me is for all these years, I've been in the ministry almost in full-time ministry since I was 21 years of age. I'm 57 now. I'm pushing that. 4 decades in the ministry. And for years, it's amazing. For years, I have pointed out people who have started going a wrong direction. And I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I was right on every one. Everyone. I'm not going to mention the names now because there's too many of them. And yet people get mad at me that you're divisive. No, I choose Christ over alma mater, over friends, over my family. My family knows this, by the way. And I may not be popular, but I want to choose Christ. Why? Because of the battle that we're facing today in America, trying to keep God. You look at the average church, dead, dying. People are not even coming to church. We have got to get serious, my friend. Is it in you? Is it in you to say, I'm choosing Christ over everything? I'm choosing Christ over money. I'm choosing Christ over family. I'm choosing Christ over job. I'm choosing Christ over my own desires and whims and comfort. I want to see the cause of Christ to move forward. My friend, if we don't get there, we're going to lose this whole nation. I challenge you today. I just ask yourself, is it in you? Make the decision today. I'm choosing Christ no matter what. And then whenever you have to make that decision, you've already made it. Don't revisit it. So I've already made this decision. I'm sticking with Christ. If I happen to be on the opposite side, so be it. So be it. And when people start changing their direction, I'm still going to go the same direction. When compromise is creeping in, I'm not going to stay silent, and neither should you. I don't have to be hateful, but I should make that stand for right. Too many preachers are playing games. I saw a podcast yesterday of an independent Baptist preacher, and it's a joke. It's like let's just play around. Ha ha. We're losing our nation. My friend, this is not a game. We got to get over this youth pastor mentality and stop playing our games. We're losing a nation, and people just play their games. Is it in you to choose Christ over everything else? I hope it is. I hope this is a challenge to you today. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great weekend, my friend.